now for our Rants and Raves of the week, and I'm going to start with Dan.
I have a rave for Al Jazeera, which has been doing a terrific job of getting the word out about its 4 journalists who are being held in Egypt for committing journalism. 3 of them have been put on trial for aiding and abetting terrorists because they interviewed members of the Muslim Brotherhood. A 4th is being held without any charge at all. Al Jazeera has been using social media. They've been really trying to get people to get the word out and put some pressure on the Egyptian government. Good for them. I hope it's successful.
What were they doing when they got picked up, do you know? What were they reporting on?
They were simply interviewing members of the Muslim Brotherhood, but that was just a few short months ago considered a political party. Now it's been labeled a terrorist organization.
All right, Tom.
Well, earlier this week, a journalist by the name of Kevin Lau was attacked by 2 men who were on a motorbike in Hong Kong. They jumped off the bike, stabbed him repeatedly, and he's hanging on for dear life. And although the attempted assassins have gotten away, there's strong suspicion that it was because of a story that he had just recently done about the elite in the Chinese government who had stashed vast fortunes in these offshore tax havens. And what's interesting, though, about the story, which kind of goes beyond that, is that he was working for something called the International Consortium of Investigative Reporters. It's a little-known organization, but these are investigative reporters in some 160 countries around the world who work on these cross-border crimes, including things like political corruption or drugs and whatnot. It's a very important work, and I think if any good comes out of the attack on Kevin, it would be that people may realize that this kind of an organization exists. And,
what about the rest of the Chinese media? Are they protesting this, and is anybody trying to figure out who did it?
Some are, yes. In Hong Kong, it had this odd relationship between Beijing and Hong Kong, the way Hong Kong operates somewhat autonomously, and it is a major, major story in Hong Kong, but clearly the comments coming out of Beijing or the Communist Party press in Beijing are virtually, there's nothing coming out of there. So we'll see. That really, in many ways, is revealing also. The suspicion is that he was attacked because of what he had revealed in those reports.
All right, Callie.
I have a rave for CNN. They're getting rid of Piers Morgan. Yay! Now listen, he's done a couple good interviews, I think, and he's tackled a couple subjects that needed to be tackled that possibly other people wouldn't have tackled in the way that he did. But pretty much, can he look down that nose of his any longer? And can he be just any more arrogant? I don't think so. So I just can't take it. I just couldn't take it. He was enough for me to flip the channel.
He was quoted after as saying, in what I guess purports to be self-awareness, that Americans tired of having a Brit lecture them. I beg to differ. I think the revulsion to him spans the continents. It knows no international boundaries.
What was it, though? I mean, he was so bland, I thought.
Bland?
Unctuous.
Oh, no, he was arrogant. And the New York Daily News reports that the staff members are cheering because he was really mean to them.
Oh, that's a shock.
Is he still being investigated on the phone thing? Maybe
I think he is.
Maybe
but by the way, he's
asylum.
not necessarily gone from CNN. His contract is up in September, and he says he and Jeff Zucker, the president, are discussing other ways for him to be used. So.
Floors need
that
to be
other person
cleaned.
who just left? Yeah, right.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know. All right, John, what do you got?
Well, on a lighter note, I have a cautious rave for my old buddy Glenn Ordway, the Big O formerly of WEEI, who started a new venture, an online station, sportstalkradio.com, I believe it's going to be called. If anybody can make a go of this on a local level, make it commercially viable, it's Ordway. He's a very talented guy. I like the way he's talking about bringing other sports figures. Speaking of Susan Warnock, maybe Bob Lobel will get a turn. I'd love to hear. There's a lot of talent that he could bring back to light here. Very few models exist to prove this can work. Bill Simmons, the ESPN guy, has made a go of it. Adam Carolla, the LA DJ, has an online radio feed that's successful. If Ordway can make it work, it means more jobs and a real breakthrough for that genre.
I mean, he turned down a job offer from EEI. They're, of course, the ones who fired him.
Right.
But he actually turned down because they're not doing so well right now, and he said no.
Hope he makes it.
Yeah. All right, well, I have a rave, and I hope you all chime in on this. So today there was some video that was released by somebody inside the Supreme Court. Somebody got inside the Supreme Court with probably a cell phone and took video of the Supreme Court justices getting up, making a couple statements, and I don't know, is the video there? I guess it's not. It just shows the... Anyway, the Supreme Court said that they were going to, as a result of this, tighten security or re-examine their security. I think they should re-examine their no cameras policy. And that, I mean, I don't understand why there isn't more outrage about this. This is un-American that we cannot have cameras in federal courts or in the United States Supreme Court. You know, this is something that should be just routine. It would be so ho-hum. We would all be bored to death. But we should be invited in. They should want us to be invited in. So the fact that this person did this, you know, probably did it as for that very reason. It's kind of a renegade motion. But, you know, Congress has the power to change this, and they should do so.
Well, I agree with you. It's the people's business they're doing in there, and we ought to be able to see it.
Yeah, I don't think Congress has the power to do it
They do.
because it's executive branch.
They do, though.
Well, the court itself should act and let the cameras in. The big question is, who was asleep?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know.
That's what
it was
I
an
wanna
odd
know.
shot. I must say, it was kind of here. You couldn't tell exactly.
I'm
what it
surprised
was.
somebody could do it, you know, because if they're watching like hawks in there, it can't be that many spaces, right? I've never been in there.
And it's up to 7 hits on YouTube, I heard.